I'm Kier.
I'm Haley.
And I'm Jay from Gallifrey Public Radio,
a podcast member of the Gonna Geek Network.
Just like the one you're listening to right now.
The opinions expressed are those of each individual.
Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
And get ready, because geekiness begins in 3,
2,
1.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy, brought to you by the Gonna Geek Network. Bringing you the latest nerdy news and geekdom, here are the hosts of the show. Anthony.
No pants, all bacon and dick butts.
Naki.
Anthony, you need to get laid.
Willie.
I don't need boobs to like a movie.
Chris.
So when Chris doesn't know how to transition to a new topic because he's flustered, he just hits the button on the soundboard.
And sometimes some special guests.
As Magneto once said, "Ha ha ha, welcome to die!"
If you're a kid and listening, you rock and your parents are awful.
A brand new ATGN starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. This is episode 218, recorded live on Sunday, July 10th, 2016. I almost said July 17th for some reason. Maybe it was just wishful thinking. I don't know.
You really
Chris
want
is
it to be
drunk.
next week.
I'm not drunk.
Chris is drunk.
It's too early to be drunk. I'm too old to be drunk that early in the morning anymore.
It is not too early to be drunk. I've been drunk by 9 a.m. before.
Well, yeah, it's been on a football day, though. It's football then.
Well, I mean, you could have the shower beers, too.
Shower beers are great.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're watching
I
the
don't
live
understand
video
that.
right now, you probably just saw me hit the live button on my backup recording, because that's the one thing I forgot with all this video production crap I do now is to turn on the backup recorder. So, oops.
Whoops.
Chris, hit the 6 buttons.
It's more than 6 buttons, man.
We need to get you, like, it all wired
Launching
to
a
one
nuke.
big red button and just be like, BAM!
Ooh.
Yep.
If we could do that, that would be pretty awesome. Just be like,
What, launch a nuke?
no, that sounds uncomfortable. We're going to launch
Yes.
a giant butt plug like your logo.
Everything goes live.
Yeah.
Everything goes live, and he launches a nuke, all with one button.
I don't want to launch nukes, guys. I like the world.
This butt plug
Not all
is
of
the
it.
biggest
Do you?
asshole in the world.
Most
You know you
of
don't
the
like
time.
all of it.
I don't like all of the world, but I like parts of the world, and if I nuked the world, I would lose the parts of the world I liked as well as the ones I don't. So is it really worth
Not
it?
necessarily. Hades not going to retaliate.
I didn't hate Haiti.
That's true.
Why do I hate
could.
Haiti?
I don't know, you just could.
I'm so confused, guys.
Hashtag Haiti.
Anybody want to hate on
I was randomly picking an island that can't retaliate with nuclear weapon capability. That's all I was doing.
North Korea.
Are you
I mean,
sure?
what? That's not really an island, but
Yeah, they're not an island, and they have nukes.
they don't
Can I
have
take
nukes
over
that can make
Hawaii?
it here because they're little bit. Never mind.
They
I'm
have,
so
I think they did.
hungry.
they have 8-bit nukes.
I just wanted to go on a Team
No,
America
I
rant.
think... I have thoughts on North Korea, but they're serious and not funny, so there's that.
This is not
Well,
the
I mean-
appropriate venue for that because episode 218 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast will probably not at all be serious yet again because it's
No.
like our big defining feature is that we are very rarely serious.
No, last week I missed Biscuit Talk.
It's true. The creepiest Minor League Baseball mascot of all time, the Montgomery Biscuits.
See, I thought I showed you the one I thought second place was good enough for where I was stationed in the Navy, the Everett Aqua Sox.
That's true too.
Why?
On the logo, the frog is tonguing the baseball, and it just looks creepy.
Ew.
So guys, we might have hit a new level. As I look in the chat room, I see the Draftsman has said, I was just at a porn con, and you guys are the first to launch a butt plug.
You're
He is-
welcome.
Okay, so I'm actually kind of jealous. He's at Exotica this weekend, and I am not.
So if you follow him on
All the
Instagram,
boobs.
if you follow him on Instagram, he has had some pretty interesting pictures from there, which are all Instagram safe. So you don't have to worry about, oh my God, my eyes, because
But I want
Instagram
ones
has
that aren't
rules.
safe.
Yeah, that's less fun.
So-
Where are the good ones at?
If you
Draftsman?
want the ones that are not Instagram safe, you probably have to tweet to @draftdesigner on Twitter and be like, hey, send me that shit, yo, or something like that.
Gotcha.
Well,
Gotcha, Draftsman.
the thing that's
Glad I
great
made
about
friends with
Exotica,
you.
the thing that's great about Exotica this year is that it's in the same building at the same time as Anime Midwest. So they had like they've had like bunches of meetups and stuff like that because I can see it floating around on social media.
That's why there was anime pictures in there too. I just thought it was some weird porn they were promoting or something like that.
That's how you make real life hentai.
Oops.
You have an anime and a porn con at the same time, and all of a sudden there's tentacles everywhere.
I was surprised that I didn't see more people walking around with just like tentacle sticks. And just being like,
Plug into tentacles.
Is that like your hat is like a shark's fin?
Ooh.
Yeah, basically.
No, not.
Well, so we are going to try and make an effort to end on time today because Naki is a bummer and has to go do real life stuff after the show.
I'm sorry, I'm a bridesmaid.
Bummer.
I'll see what I can do to derail that.
Well, either way, she'll probably be gone by the time that starts. So I guess this is one of those times when I just have to hit the button and we go right into the news of the week.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet, it's the news of the week.
So it's that part in the show where we basically share what we think is the coolest news of this last week, and I'm pretty sure the biggest story is going to be Pokemon Go. We're going to save that for last because I'm sure there'll be great discussion and consternation from one panelist here who's a hater on Pokemon.
He is a hater on Pokemon.
Who is it?
The old man.
It's the cranky old man.
The cranky old man. That's right.
The cranky old man who needs to get laid.
All you stupid pokey kids.
That's me.
Playing with your balls and your Jigglypuffs.
I got no balls.
Oh, dear. So before this gets any more awkward in phrasing, I'll take my story first, which is pretty quick, is, hey, it was announced this week we have not one, but 2 new Iron Mans going forward post Marvel Civil War 2. It was announced, number 1, that 15-year-old Riri Williams will be taking on the role of Iron Man in the upcoming Invincible Iron Man. And then Infamous Iron Man, the new Iron Man will be none other than Dr. Doom.
We have Iron Man?
We have Iron Men now. Now they have introduced...
Well, no.
Technically, it's
Because only one's
boy.
a man.
That's true.
You have Iron people.
So I
Iron
assume
Lad.
the title of Iron Man will not quite be Iron Man when Riri Williams takes the role. I don't assume she's going to keep the man on there. She could. I have no idea. But she has already been introduced in the Brian Michael Bendis comic. She's already built her own suit of armor that she's been flying around, and that's interesting. But more interesting to me, sorry guys, is the fact that Dr. Doom is going to be Iron Man. So you've got a guy that can combine magic and technology flying around in armor. And what's really cool about Doom now, because I know you guys probably haven't been reading anything with the new Marvel events, Doom's kind of a good guy now post-Secret War. He's kind of floating around trying to help out and do good stuff. And it's interesting seeing this redemption of Dr. Doom. So I'm really intrigued to see how Dr. Doom develops as Iron Man.
And I don't know if he's really being good or if he's just not being evil just to see how much it fucks with people.
That could also be it too. Regardless,
That's basically what he was doing in Invincible Iron Man. He was just not being evil and it fucked with Tony's head.
Regardless, it's been very interesting seeing this different twist on Dr. Doom. And his face is no longer scarred, anything like that. He is a normal human, but is still incredibly smart and has all of his magic. So seeing what he's going to bring to the role of Iron Man will be very interesting. But this news that came out this week of Riri Williams and Dr. Doom taking over the mantle has a lot of people assuming that the big death that's going to be occurring in Civil War II, issue number 3, will in fact be Tony Stark. I don't know that it will be, but it might be him as Iron Man that is the big death, because supposedly there's some big initiative going on now where they're going to reveal who his true parents are, because prior to Marvel now, it was realized that he's adopted by the Starks, so he's not a Stark by blood.
That was when I was still working at the comic shop,
So
and I was
Jon
like,
Snow?
I don't understand that reference. I don't watch Game of Thrones.
He's a bastard. He's not a real Stark.
Now, I don't know too much about the comic world that in depth, but wasn't my understanding of Doctor Doom, didn't he always think he was the good guy?
Sometimes, but sometimes he knew he was the bad guy to do
When
good
he's
things.
written well. He's like Magneto and thinks he's the good guy. Yeah.
it's kind of like when Doc Ock was Spider-Man type thing. Doc Ock was really thinking he was doing good by making the city worse. So, I mean,
He kind of made Peter Parker's life better at the end, didn't he?
Well,
he got him his fucking doctorate.
It set up a lot of interesting stuff because everything that Doc Ock did in his body set up a lot of the Edge of the Spider-Verse stuff, and then has also set up the fact that Peter Parker is basically Tony Stark now in the Marvel universe, where he's a rich, successful scientist where Spider-Man is his bodyguard.
And Parker Industries is a worldwide company now.
Yes, they
all
even
thanks to Doc Ock, and he's Dr. Peter Parker. All
Right.
thanks to Doc Ock.
Yeah.
and he even
Parker never fucking finished school.
Yeah, he even owns the Fantastic Four's old building. That's where they have Parker Industries headquarters set up. It's been a very interesting twist on what all's gone on with Spider-Man. I still was not a fan of Doc Ock as Spider-Man. I'll still go on record and say I didn't really care for it that much. But what it spun off and led to has been very interesting. So I guess I eat partial crow on that. I'm not sure.
Superior
Kind of a
Spider-Man
little,
was awesome storytelling.
The ends meet the justification. You know what I'm trying to say.
Wow, you butchered that one. The ends justify the means? Is that what
Yeah,
you're trying to
yeah.
say?
I think that's what he's trying to say, but
He couldn't. He couldn't say it.
So I see Steven in the chat room. He goes, Doc made Peter's life better at the beginning. He was banging people like crazy, wasn't he?
it's true. He was getting it on.
He also murdered people
Yeah.
as Spider-Man too, so keep that in mind.
Well, I mean,
Well, I mean, if I was a superhero with superpowers, I'd probably kill a lot of people too.
He straight up made fucking supervillains in the Marvel Universe respect Spider-Man because motherfuckers were scared of his ass.
yeah. So is Doom still is Doom a blogger in the universe too, or is that
No,
just
He is
Oh,
not.
he's Doom.
That was
Fantastic Four?
Yeah, it's no Fant Four Stick. He's actual Doom.
Didn't they drop that plotline out of Fantastic Four? I can't even remember.
I have never seen it. You're
Well,
the one that watched it, Willie.
They dropped
can't remember.
Fantastic Four, so
Yeah.
why would they bring that into the Marvel Universe?
No, so
They just dropped the comic.
Dr. Doom right now is not even the ruler of Latveria. He's just a super smart, magically empowered guy that screws with Tony Stark and might be screwing with Tony Stark after he dies. I don't know what all is going to happen. I
Well, they
didn't say
could bring him
screwing him. I said screwing with.
That is hilarious. What is your job? Oh, fucking with this rich guy.
If you read the
mean-
first 5-6 issues of Invincible Iron Man, that's basically what he was doing.
Literally,
Like, he showed up everywhere and just fucked with Tony Stark's head. It was hilarious.
I'm a retired dictator. I'm just gonna spend my days fucking with this guy.
well, see, the thing
I'm
is,
just
we
gonna
don't
piss off this rich kid.
we don't really know if he is a retired dictator or not because of everything that happened after Secret War. It kind of soft rebooted everything. So they've never explicitly said, from what I can recall, whether Doom was the ruler of Latveria after this soft reboot. So I honestly have no idea where they went with it. I will say the Invincible Iron Man book has been a very fun read, especially with the 2-issue arc with Doctor Strange in it, where you get the line of "awesome facial hair." High five.
That part was funny.
That was cool. Steven also brings up a good point in the chat room. I'd forgotten about this. He goes, I love how Chris and I both considered watching Fantastic Four this weekend, and both passed.
We've considered renting it a few times, and then we're like, wait.
If you get HBO, it's on HBO right now, so you can watch it on demand.
I have HBO, and I still go, wait, there's Fast 7? I mean, like, there's a million other things I'd rather watch.
I am completely with you on that. I don't care about it. I kind of want to see it just for the sheer calamity effect of it, just so I can see how bad it is for myself. And Steven says it's on Canadian Netflix. That's because you guys don't get good movies on Canadian Netflix.
They actually get a lot of good movies on Canadian
They,
Netflix.
they get Star Wars soon, so I can't
Theirs
really
is
say anything.
better, but it's still a lot worse than ours.
I can't remember the last time I watched Netflix.
We
Oh
were
yeah,
just
Dressman's
watching it
right
now.
too. They even replaced the Baxter building with the Parker building. Parker took over the Baxter building. They're straight kicking the FF out of the Marvel
Well,
universe.
that's
I don't
because
understand why.
Because fuck Fox, that's why.
It's more because they wanted to protect their property after the fact that Fantastic Four, there was a bunch of bad buzz and stuff like that before it even came out. So before that, they started wrapping up the Fantastic Four books. And if you went to like Marvel headquarters in New York, there's no like Fantastic Four artwork on the walls anymore.
Nope.
It was more
That's
of
a shame.
It is a shame, but what's
Yeah, 'cause
good
it's
coming
the
out of it.
first superhero team ever.
Hold on a second. So what's good coming out of it is the fact that there are rumors starting up again now that Fox might be looking to make a deal, much like Sony did, to incorporate the Fantastic Four universe with the Marvel one, but they would still retain the rights to the Fantastic Four.
Well, I mean, they don't really have to do that with Marvel because Marvel's owned by Disney, and Disney has The Incredibles, and Incredibles 2 comes out next year. So, I mean, they've already got the Fantastic Four, technically
But as a Fantastic Four reader in the past and one who's enjoyed the comics from time to time, I would really like to have a Fantastic Four book again instead of having like Johnny Storm off with the Inhumans and Ben Grimm off I don't know where, and Reed Richards
Ben
and
is
Sue Storm.
Guardian of the Galaxy.
Yeah, and Reed Richards and Sue Storm off God knows where too. with
They're
the
just
rest of the
gone.
Where are
kids.
their kids now?
With them on some unknown adventure that's not being published.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if they
Literally.
kept the kids active.
Literally, all they've done with the Fantastic Four right now is just be like this to Fox. That's all they're doing right now is be like, we'll use
I'm
our
sorry, what are
characters
you
how we
doing for
want.
the audio listener?
Oh, for those that are watching or listening to the audio podcast, I flipped off the camera as I was pretending to be Marvel.
Gave the camera
Now-
the bird.
I'm surprised the government's not getting involved in it and saying, hey, are you putting your children in dangerous situations?
They actually did near the end of the Fantastic Four books. They had their kids taken away from them because of the fact they were brought into dangerous situations.
I'm thinking like Marvel now. I'm
You
liking
are.
it.
You're a straight Marvel guy. But I've rambled enough about Iron Man, Doctor Doom, and the new character, Riri Williams. I'm going to kick it over to Anthony. What do you got for us, sir?
I got that Preacher is fucking awesome.
The
I
TV
got to-
series or the books?
Both. Because the books are amazing. The books are one of the greatest comic story ever told.
The role of
And
Shadow
when they said they
Warchief.
were going to do a show, I was very hesitant. Because I was like, I don't think there's any way they have the balls to put that on TV. And, well, basically Seth Rogen and Adam Goldberg have the balls to put Preacher on TV. I got caught up on the first 5 episodes, and it's fucking great. The start of... Because in the first episode, you're kind of expecting how the book starts off to happen, which is, spoilers, fucking Jesse's church gets blown up, everybody dies, that's why he goes on a mission to find God, to hold him accountable. And with the start of the show, you realize that that's not what's going to happen. So, I mean, they're probably going to lead up to blowing up the church, but they're giving you much more character backstory and other fill-in stuff before that happens. But going into, was it the start of the second or third episode, you literally get to see this cowboy go on a ride into a town called Ratwater to get a medicine for his kid. And once they showed that character, who ends up becoming basically the most important character in the book, other than Jesse Custer himself, once they saw that character on TV, I was like, holy shit, these guys have fucking awesome storytelling chops, and it's going to be a fantastic show. And the article I found actually said that pretty much Preacher is a godsend for the AMC investors, because as everything's winding down for The Walking Dead, how did they put it? The Walking Dead arrived just as Breaking Bad and Mad Men were winding down, and Preacher appears to be the network's latest winner for, it has become the second most popular new show on cable this year among adults 18 to 49 and 25 to 54. The Nelson Live Plus 3 ratings, which include DVR replays, have the show drawing 3.3 million viewers per episode, including 1.9 million in the adults age 25 to 54 category, which is basically everything investors want. But yeah, it's the way they've done some of the superpowers, Jesse Custer's Word of God, the guy that's playing fucking Cassidy, holy shit, he's good. He's because he's an actual Irish actor, and so his accent's on. And if you've seen Misfits or what was that ridiculous movie Lockup, he was the crazy brother in Lockup with all the tattoos and fucked up face.
What was he in Misfits?
The real tall guy that could become Multiple Man. That replaced the first main actor who apparently wanted too much money to come back after 2 seasons.
Man,
Yeah, so they
replaced him.
Yep.
He was awesome.
But yeah, the guy who plays Cassidy's fantastic. The African-American actress that plays Tulip is fucking badass. And I already don't see, what's his name, Dominic whatever. I already look at him and don't see Howard Stark anymore. I see fucking Jesse Custer. He is fucking great as Preacher.
I don't know,
And yeah,
man. He was really good as Howard Stark in Agent
He
Carter.
was. But watch 5 episodes in a row of Preacher, and dude, he is Jesse Custer. He's so good at it. And Jackie Earle Haley as the lead of Quincan and Power and Meat is fucking so creepy as a weird old bald businessman who's just batshit crazy.
So I will say
the whole show is great. It's just fucking great.
I will say I have not watched any of Preacher yet. It is on my list of things to get to eventually because I know it'll come to Netflix and still on demand. That being said, saying The Walking Dead is wrapping up, I kind of have to disagree with. That's still going strong. It's Fear the Walking Dead that is a steaming pile of horse crap. That is... I watched...
I was actually going to ask that.
I think in the article they also meant offsetting it where Walking Dead is on its off season, so now you have Preacher to flip-flop with it the way they did Breaking Bad and Mad Men.
And that's what Fear the Walking Dead was supposed to do, but it is so damn boring. I've been told it got better, but I watched like the first 2 or 3 episodes and I was like, oh, this sucks. make it stop. And I could not get into it. It was bleh.
I said that was season 3 of Walking Dead.
Yep, that's when I stopped.
Was that season 2 or 3 that was the bad one? Where's
It was
Sophia?
all of it.
Where's Sophia?
I think I watched the whole first season of Fear the Walking Dead.
You poor bastard.
It wasn't bad, but yeah, it definitely wasn't great.
Wasn't it just a giant soap opera that was slow?
Pretty much.
Like, I was actually going to ask that about what you said about The Walking Dead. I'm like, wait, did they announce that that's being canceled or something?
That thing still pulls in massive massive ratings. That is their biggest success right now, I would say. Although,
but now Preacher is the show they can run for the off season when Walking Dead's not running.
Yeah, Preacher and Better Call Saul. And Better Call Saul is very good, but it does not get quite the same publicity as these other shows. That's what really surprises me, because it is fantastic. If you enjoyed Saul Goodman on Breaking Bad, go watch Better Call Saul. And it gets very tragic because you know how it's all going to end. You're just like, oh man, come on, Jimmy, you can do it. And it's bad. It's bad in a good way.
I loved Breaking Bad, so I was going to start watching Better Call Saul. I saw the first episode, and then I wasn't home on Monday nights where I could watch it. So I'm like, okay, I'll wait till it gets to Netflix. I think it hit Netflix, so I can watch it.
Season 1, I believe, is on Netflix.
Okay, so I'll have to watch it then.
It is a very, very good show. It is very different from Breaking Bad, but wow, I'm having a brain fart. Who's playing the role of Saul? I forgot the actor's name all of a sudden.
It's Bob Odenkirk.
Right? Yeah, Bob Odenkirk is fantastic in it. Michael McKean as his older brother is also very good too, and the dynamic between the brothers on that show, very, very good. So if you have a chance, go watch Better Call Saul.
I almost said David Cross because I was watching the Bob and David show.
Isn't it so weird but fun?
I was like, wait, no, wrong one.
Oh, yes, and also, if you loved Mike from Breaking Bad, Draftsman brought up, he goes, I love the fact that Mike comes back for the show. So, yes, Mike Ehrmantraut is also in Better Call Saul. And it is how Mike becomes the badass you've met in Breaking Bad. He's pretty badass to begin in Better Call Saul, but you start to see how that character develops and how the relationship between him and Saul is created. And bravo. It's so good.
Yeah, I gotta watch that one.
You've got to do it. But
it's on, there's so many things that I want to watch, and I don't sit down and watch TV much anymore, so I'm the worst.
So Steven has some very strong opinions on Fear the Walking Dead. You can probably see in the chat room right now. I'll read those real quick, and then we'll move on to the next story because we do need to try and wrap up on time. He goes, I don't think it's fair to critique Fear the Walking Dead unless you've watched past the first few episodes. It was the beginning of the outbreak. It's going to be different. However, it does have a fair set of critiques. However, I will argue with anyone who shits on it saying, why aren't you killing them about these first few episodes? These people aren't going to just start killing the guy who served you a Big Mac yesterday. That's in all caps.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That guy could have spit in my Big Mac.
Yeah, I'd kill a dude for that. I've killed dudes for less. I mean, what?
Give me a liter cola.
All right, Anna, hey, settle down.
Let's distraction.
So, that guy who spit in your Big Mac, what was going on with that?
He died.
What?
It was a tragic accident that his brake lines had been cut.
Oh, I thought there was the guy who fell into the fryer. You know, there's that guy.
That was the guy that spit in my milkshake.
Are you talking about Toxic Avenger now?
No.
Yep.
French fries.
I want some French fries. Excuse me. I want some goddamn freedom fries. America. Fuck yeah. Anyways, I'm rambling and incoherent. I have no way to transition this. Naki, why don't you tell us about your news of the week that we already teased that is going to be the big thing?
My god.
Yeah.
Shut up, Anthony. So, guess what released this week? I'm sure your Facebook feeds. God damn it, Anthony. For those of you who are listening to the audio feed, Anthony has put on a Freddy Fazbear shirt and has decided that during my news of the week he's going to dance, and it's really fucking creepy.
Now it's coming for you. Just focus on the butt plug. Focus on the butt plug.
So anyways, the news of the week is Pokémon Go got released.
Yay!
I thought the news of the week was one jackass already died stopping on a freeway to play this stupid fucking game.
Wait, that was real?
One death is what I read.
I don't know if that was real. I haven't checked, but it is in fact real that some girl did find a dead body when she's going off to go and find Pokemon. That one is real.
So, I mean, there's some bad things that are coming from it, but there's awesome things because the fact that we're all Pokemon masters now because we can walk around and go tee tee tee. And
Go
basically
Team Valor.
Fuck no,
Valor.
go Team Mystic.
Valor.
Blue team, even wearing my color. Blue team.
Well, and Chris is wearing my color.
I don't have a team yet. I've only played Pokemon Go for like 3 minutes, just long enough to get my first Pokemon.
Which one did you choose?
Charmander.
That's
I
right.
found out you can choose a Pikachu as your starter if you do some specific thing.
Yes, if you do not choose your starter when
Run
you
away
are
4 or 5 times.
Yeah, you have to run away from it. Like I believe, at least it's either like 1 kilometer or like multiple times. They'll give you a Pikachu.
No. I saw like you have to when it first pops up, and you have the choice to run away at the top left. You have to do that 4 or 5 times.
Oh, I thought you meant like physically walking, because supposedly if you like physically walk away, if you go like 1 kilometer, it'll be
So,
you can choose.
Let's give listeners a little background on what all Pokemon Go is, if they're not aware of what it is.
Okay,
it's annoying. It's filling my feed. It won't go away.
I'm gonna just keep posting Pokemon Go pictures to Anthony's feed.
It won't make much of a difference
join
with
you
all
with
my
that.
fucking friends. It's fucking insane.
So basically, what it is it's an app. It's a free app you can download to your phone, and I said free. It's free. It's free, guys.
I'm emphasizing.
And it works sometimes.
And the first few days were kind of rough because the servers kept going down.
As gamers, you should be aware of that.
Yes, this is a thing. But basically, what it is that you can walk around your town and Pokemon will hop up on your feed or on your phone, and you'll have a little avatar that you see walking. It's Ingress, but with Pokemon. If you don't know what Ingress is, you're either blue team or you're green team, and you battle for certain areas. I actually didn't get into Ingress at all, but apparently it has more features than Pokemon Go does. So
It was what started all of this. Was Adahay talked about it on like an early episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast, like around the 20s. I want to say he was playing Ingress, which was an augmented reality game where you go around and try and capture territories and stuff. And Niantic Studios is the same folks that did Ingress, who also developed Pokemon Go with Nintendo.
Right. So basically what you do is you walk around your town and your phone will vibrate and a Pokemon will pop up. And you can touch that Pokemon on your phone and it'll bring it up onto your screen. And you could choose to have your AR on or off, but if you keep your AR on, keep your AR on, it'll be in the actual, where you're standing. Your camera will turn on and you could see your background around it and you see the little Pokemon. And you get a little Pokeball at the bottom of your screen. You flick your Pokeball at the Pokemon. You catch it, or you try to catch it, because it can run away and it can fight back. And then you have a Pokemon. And you can name them terrible things, like Pidgeotto is currently Captain Hare. And
Mine is Flying Mullet.
That's accurate.
Rattata is because he looks like he's screaming. So it makes me
Or
laugh.
you can go the really, really wrong way, like I named my Ponyta the Flaming Horse to Chlamydia, because it will burn you.
I did not get a Ponyta, but I did get a Weedle that I named Lord Taco.
And I got a Venonat that I named Harry Nutsack.
Oh, God.
If you need to look up what these look like, I mean, we're basically describing them to you. Pidgeotto is a bird with hair, so that's why his name is Captain Hare.
A.K. Mullet.
Or a mullet.
So there's been some interesting things that have come out of all this Pokemon Go, though. I mean, I'm sure everyone's seen the meme of like the business front that says Pokemon is for paying customers only, because they'll show up in like businesses and stuff like that. There's a police station that was the same, that was like, hey, we know you guys like catching Pokemon, but don't come into the police station to catch these ones, because people were literally just walking in to try and catch Pokemon. But it was a real cool letter, because like, go have fun, catch them all, but not here, to that effect.
Like you don't because when you go to a Pokestop, you don't actually have to go into the Pokestop. You could just stand outside of it, and there would be a little thing that you hit it, and it spins, and then Pokeballs fall out.
Yeah, that's something they did that was bad. They did not explain that, because I saw a bunch of these. I was like, what am I supposed to do here? I clicked on it, I tapped on the picture, did nothing. I tapped on the title of the place, nothing. And then like after like 4 or 5 of them, I was like, "What is?" And I accidentally spun it. It's like, "Oh, you're supposed to spin the picture."
They don't They did not give you any sort of training or anything. You're just kind of like, okay, this is your stuff, now go. So I had to use the powers of the internet. Apparently the gym is far more powerful than what I realized, but I didn't know you could actually dodge attacks. I was just like clicking on the guy and like, fight, fight, fight.
So what you're saying is your Google foo was strong so that you could find
Yes.
all this.
Yes. So I recommend, I put an article in the show notes. That article will give you the basics, and then if you look a little bit further, you can find out stuff about gyms, what team you should go with, although really the teams don't matter, but I'm Team Mystic, and you should go blue all the way. And
Valor.
No, shut up.
Valor?
Wash my hands of red. And then
As you should.
There's also the yellow team, so you could go with that.
So if you guys want to see that article,
one's yellow.
if you want to see that article that Naki's talking about, you can head on over to bit.ly/ATGN218. ATGN is all caps, and that will take you directly to the show notes. You can click the link for yourself. It'll also be in the episode description in both the MP3 version and the YouTube versions of this podcast.
Because Chris is good with that sort of thing, and I just set things on fire.
A lot of things on fire. So there's a couple of cool things I'd seen coming out about Pokemon Go, how it's had this unintentional side effect of making kids and people go outside and walk around and get some exercise. Because, like, I got to catch all these Pokemon. So people are actually, not hanging out in their houses all day and going and enjoying nice days out. Now their faces are still planted in their cell phones, but at least they're outside.
But boyfriend and I literally made a day of it yesterday, where we went to the outdoor mall. Okay, so Friday night we went to the outdoor mall. We caught all the Pokemon and went all the Pokestops there. Boyfriend and I yesterday morning went to the other outdoor mall, caught all the Pokemon, got a bunch of Pokestops there. Came back home, charged up our phones, took a little break. My nephew was over, so we were messing around with him.
Emphasis on
And
charged
then-
up your phones, because I've heard from a lot of people that
Oh my
Pokemon
God.
Go is a beast on your battery. So if you have a backup battery pack, take it with you, from what everyone said.
But you can put it on battery saver mode, which will black out your screen but keep the game active.
That's only if you turn it upside down.
Yeah, and it also it'll still vibrate when you're by a Pokemon too, but you still have to pay attention.
Yay, vibration.
Yeah, we all
So
know.
Suncast brings up a good point in the chat. He goes, "Man, UPS drivers must be making out great."
Oh my God, they have.
I'm
to
a
be.
driver.
Is that how
And
you're doing
yes, it
so
works
well?
out for work. Yeah, oh yeah. It works out perfectly, except for those damn eggs. But the sad thing is, I live in a rural area, so it is horrible for me right now because there's no Pokestops around me. There were no Pokemon near me. I'm just stuck at home some days. Like Jesus, I really had to drive yesterday 2 miles out to this church that is a Pokestop. I pretty much just walked back and forth because Pokestops, I did find out, reset every 3 minutes.
Willie, why are you going to church? Are you going to go pray? Hell no, I'm going to go get me some Pokemon.
No, I'm going to get chlamydia.
That was a pretty good one. That was a good
And
one.
I have seen that it's really dependent on where you live. One of the comic book artists I follow on Facebook, he's got, I think, 11 Pokemon already, and he said 9 of them he got on the commuter train to work every day. It's like he literally drove the train to work and back home twice and picked up 9 Pokemon.
The suburbs is not the greatest area. Like I said, we had to go to
Pokemon
malls.
is.
No, it's not. All I get is Rattatas or Pidgeys. Like I got one Jigglypuff, and I got one.
Mowing, and, that's when I ran out of balls.
Willie's got no balls.
I literally got no Pokeballs.
But it's so the second place we went to was after dinner and after we charged up our phones is we went to a park and there was Pokestops everywhere, but there was no Pokemon. Like we didn't catch a single fucking thing.
That's because people had already been there probably, and it had already been picked over.
No. Okay, so the thing that hasn't really been like it's been weird seeing these stories who are like little old men who are stealing Pokemon. That's not how the game works. It's just pretty shared. Like if you see it on your screen, or say boyfriend and I walking, if I see it on my screen, boyfriend sees it on his screen, and we could both catch the same Pokemon.
Okay.
So it's shared AR. It's not something that you can steal from each other. It can run away on you, and that sucks because I had two Zubats and a Ghastly run away on me. Not that I haven't caught them since, but
I want a Ghastly.
yeah. So there's also, and this I had to figure out on my own. I haven't seen it published really, or I have seen it since, but there's a little line at the bottom of your screen on the right-hand side where 3 Pokemon show up, and then you could click on it and it'll say nearby. And so if there's 3 feet underneath, it's 3 kilometers away. If there's 2 feet underneath, 300 kilometers away, 200 kilometers away, and 100 kilometers away.
You mean meters?
Yeah, not kilometers.
That'd be a long walk.
Meters. Yeah, but it's sorry.
Meters. I was just making sure I was right here because it's holy shit,
no.
people are walking a lot then if they're doing this.
But
and
people are walking
their footsteps, not feet, because that might also be a little confusing.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean. So, but anyways, so all day yesterday there was a Psyduck 300 meters away all day. I couldn't find it anywhere. Then there was a Haunter and a Psyduck, and all I have are these little shadows, because if you haven't caught them yet, it's just a shadow that shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that that's what they are because it's in the Pokemon shape, and that's when you play the Guess That Pokemon game that you learn from when you're a kid and watching the original show. I don't know if they do that anymore.
Who cares?
But so it's just sitting there, and I still haven't found either of them, and I'm kind of pissed off because I've walked all around my neighborhood. I had my crazy miles of runs yesterday, and yeah.
Hey, Naki. Hey, Naki.
What?
I got a Psyduck.
Fuck you. Fuck you and your Psyduck too. Psyduck's just been teasing me. I haven't been able to catch it. And I have
really
no... And everybody's that 2-headed bird one, I can't think of the name. The duo...
Dodrio?
Yeah, so that one's supposed to be extremely common. Have not seen one. Have not seen a single one.
Is it Doduo?
Duo, something like that.
And then it evolves to a 3-headed one. That's Dodrio, right?
Right. Something like that. But in any case, it's supposed to be super common. That's supposed to be super common. I haven't seen any. I've only seen one Bellsprout. I've got a shit ton of Pidgeys and Rattatas and Weedles.
Evolve that shit.
I'm gaining them up right now. And then I'll sell them all to the professor, and I'll get their candies and,
Actually, you want to hear a pro tip I learned?
Pro tip.
Save all of them till about level 9, and then when you reach level 9, they actually give you something called a lucky egg that will double your experience for 30 minutes.
That's cool.
Then you evolve all you can with all the candy you saved up, and because you get 500 experience for evolving.
Yeah.
Which makes it 1,000 experience each time you evolve with the lucky egg, and then after that, then you sell them, and then you transfer them to get the candies.
Good to know, because I'm level 7 right now.
Interesting.
So I'm level 8. Yay.
So to kind of wrap up this discussion, I think there was something really cool I'd seen one of my buddies post on Facebook. We went to college together, and he said, what is really cool for me is that I'm actually getting paid to catch Pokemon. He goes, hold on here. Let me explain this. His company he works for gives him pays out money or rewards or whatnot for people that use their Fitbits and go and work out. It's one of the perks there for wellness benefits and stuff like that. He goes, I walk all over to go and catch Pokemon. He goes, so I'm basically getting paid to walk around and catch Pokemon as a bonus on top of my salary. I was like, that's nice. Really freaking cool.
I mean, it's getting people out and it's getting people walking. It has been packed. Even when we went out at 11 o'clock at night to catch some of the night ones, there were still packs of kids walking around.
Right. So one thing to keep in mind is this is all very new and there's been a lot of hype built around it. I'll be very interested to see how this continues to trend, say about a month from now, after the game's been out for a month and people are like, I'm tired of this. I keep catching the same stuff. I can't find anything. What's the hook they're going to have to keep people coming back? That's what's going to dictate a lot of the success or failure of this, I think.
I mean, Ingress has been doing it for, 4 years now?
That's true.
I've never heard of that before this, though.
Really? So
yep.
I think it was Windy City Con, which I did a podcast with, and you can see it here. It's 2 years old now, though. But when I was at Windy City Con, we were next to two tables that were the rival teams. So there was the blue team on next to us, and the green team was across the way. And this was 2 years ago. This was going on. So, and it's still going strong.
Yeah, it's very interesting. The game itself is pretty interesting. I'll get into it some. I literally just played around with it for a couple minutes yesterday, and I'll try it out some more later. I'm intrigued.
Better. Did you guys hear the joke, though, that Pokemon Go got released this week? Has done more for child obesity than Michelle Obama did in 7 years.
I saw that meme.
I saw it. I mean, everybody, it's crazy. It's crazy seeing how many people are outside and at the parks and just sitting there. And there was, when we were at the outdoor mall on Friday night, there was a mom that walked past us and she's like, "You guys are doing Pokemon too?" And she's like, "My kids will not get off their phone."
You know what's good for?
Yeah, stop talking to
Bar
me.
crawls.
Oh, yeah. What's going to be real interesting is when everyone gets their next cell phone bill and sees their data bill for all the Pokemon Go stuff.
If you are a Verizon wireless customer, and this, I'm not sponsored in any way, but they have new plans rolling out this week. Check your plan. See if you, because I upgraded to 8 gigs now, and I'm paying $40 less. So
I'm still on the old AT&T unlimited plan, but when my contract with them runs out, I'll probably be going to go experiment with Google's Project Fi, where you pay $10 per gigabyte you want per month. If you only use 2 gigabytes, you pay $20. And you pay $20 flat for your phone connection. So I'm intrigued by it.
I don't think that's in my area, but once it is.
Well, Project Fi uses Wi-Fi, T-Mobile, Sprint, and US Cellular. Those are the networks they use. And you take phone calls over Wi-Fi, basically, when you're on a Wi-Fi connection. It's very cool. And you don't get charged data when you're on Wi-Fi, obviously. So it's an interesting little thing. If you haven't seen it, I think it's projectfi.com, F-I, for that. But
look into that for post.
How much data does it actually use, though?
Well, that's what'll be interesting to see. We're not sure at this point in time, but if people are constantly using the app all the time, there's going to be a decent amount that would get used, I would think. You can probably go into your settings right now and see how much data has been used just in the past couple of days from folks playing it.
All the memes at the start of next month are going to be everybody complaining about their cell phone bill.
Probably.
Oh, here's the next pro tip. Turn off AR. No one needs that.
No, but it's cool.
It is cool.
But you don't need it.
You don't need it, but it looks damn cool. That's the thing.
But do you want more battery to catch more Pokemon, or you want less battery?
I have a big enough battery in my cell phone. I'm really not concerned.
Are you sure?
I cut a Pidgeotto off boyfriend's butt.
And I have a backup battery I keep in my travel bag that I take to and from work, which is always in my car. So
I have seen some slightly pornorific pictures with people with their significant others and the AR mode on.
Well, did you see the guy that caught a Pokemon while his wife was in labor and posted the picture of the Pokemon literally sitting on his wife's pregnant belly while she's in labor?
That is hilarious. I did see a picture it's like a OBGYN on his cell phone, while the woman's legs are right there, and says, "You would not believe where I just caught a Squirtle."
So
there was one that I saw that was a guy in a hotel room, and his female friend, I don't know of what kind, but she's in the bathroom, and she's all she has on is a thong, and he's sitting in bed, and a Dugtrio is on his
that's pretty good
area.
Oh, one last one. I did see someone had the AR looking at, and he was looking down at his crotch, and then a little Weedle was sticking his head up, and it says, "Fuck you, Pokemon Go."
That's pretty good too. So we'll wrap up that chat on Pokemon Go. It's pretty interesting. If you haven't had a chance to experience it for yourself, it is free, so feel free to try. It's available on Android and iOS. If you're a Windows Phone user, it is not available for you, but why the hell are you using Windows Phone would be the question I have.
Wait, that's still a thing?
Yeah.
It still is. Not much of a thing.
14 people.
Yeah.
There's dozens of them.
Dozens.
Yep.
But before we start wrapping up the show, we do like to remind folks each week that the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast is in fact part of a network. It's called the Gonna Geek Network. You can find that over at GonnaGeekNetwork.com. And we want to try and highlight an episode from the network each week. This week we're going to talk about episode 152 of the GonnaGeek.com podcast. It has an episode title that sounds like something we would call our show. It's #TeamSeatPoop.
Okay.
Yes. The Gonna Geek Network's Neil guests on this week's episode to discuss a plethora of geeky news, including possible Apple tech which would disable your iDevice in certain public locations. So if you want to find out more on that, head on over to geeks.link/152, and that is the most recent episode of the official GonnaGeek.com podcast. One other thing I did want to bring up is you guys may know we stream live on geeks.live, and a lot of the other podcasts on the network do. In the past, if you'd gone to geeks.live when there was nothing live, it was just a static page with a calendar saying, here's the next shows. I want to give some kudos to Steven, who has been working some wizardry behind the scenes. If you go to geeks.live now and there is no actual live content, you will actually be getting replays of previously recorded content from the Gonna Geek Network. So there is a streaming schedule set up. So if you went to geeks.live, say 10 minutes after this show, there'd be a YouTube playlist that would start up, and based off of what time it is now, it starts that episode at a certain point in. So theoretically, if you and your buddy went to geeks.live at the exact same time, you could both be watching the same content sort of live at the same time. You'd be in sync on the time.
We have our own TV station?
We almost have our own TV station right now, so kudos to Steven for engineering that and putting that together, and it is pretty damn cool. Find that over at geeks.live. I did have one real quick news story I wanted to mention before we wrap things up. Willie, we know, has talked about Google Cardboard before. I've been intrigued by it. One, Conan O'Brien is giving away Google Cardboards for free again this year. If you remember last year, he did his Conan 360 stuff, a lot of it at Comic-Con, where they filmed episodes with 360-degree cameras, and you could then take Google Cardboard to your cell phone and watch the show and move around in it. He is giving away Google Cardboards again for free this year, so if you want to go and get a Google Cardboard, head on over to teamcoco.com/360. I submitted my request for a free one 2 days ago.
Good luck.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll actually happen, but if it does, it would be really cool, because I wouldn't mind a free Google Cardboard.
Are we all going to ignore the fact that Chris said plethora?
That's what was in the show title. That's what's in the description. I just read the script, man.
Do you even know what a plethora
I thought I said plethora.
No, you said plethora.
Oh, well, whatever.
And I did the Three Amigos joke.
I would do plethora. I mean, that's just out of habit for me, though.
Whatevs. Fuck you guys.
I go with that. I'm ESL. Ugh.
I'm an engineer. I don't speak well with the Englishes, yo. I just draw pretty pictures and do math.
ACLs.
There we go.
So we do need to get Naki out of here. We got about 8 minutes till we need to wrap things up. So we'll wrap up the show with our traditional bit. It's what we call What I'm Into. It's our chance to share with you guys the geeky or nerdy cool stuff we're getting into. And I'll kick it to Naki first. What have you been getting into?
I have a new friend. It's a squishable narwhal, and his name is Jalapeno.
Why is
He
it
looks a little horny.
Oh,
He's a little horny.
I knew that joke was coming.
Outside of that, Constantine is streaming on CW Seed. And with that came, of course, all the rumors that CW is going to pick up Constantine for season 2. There is no actual confirmation, and Matt Ryan's very busy, so good luck with that. But you can watch Constantine on CW Seed, which that is what my tablet has been in use for the past 5 nights, so that I could watch that. And because it's not on my TV or on my PS4. So there's
Supposedly they have an app for the Roku now.
Yes, there is an app for the Roku, so if you have a Roku, you can watch the CW Seed on there.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to add Supergirl, too.
Yep.
They will also be showing, starting in August, every Monday night, 2 episodes of Supergirl until the premiere in October.
The DCW.
Yeah.
That's their new channel name.
I
DCW.
mean, basically that's what it is. And I guess I might actually pick up on Arrow and Flash or something like that, but I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, Flash. Yeah.
Flash is really
you
good.
look so enthused.
Like, I'm more interested in Flash than Arrow, but I don't. I hate Watch Arrow.
The Flash.
I hate Watch Arrow.
Flash is the best show on TV.
On top of that, in my Nintendo DS world, I am finally past the Spectre Knight in Shovel Knight, so I am now on to Plague Knight right now, and I'm stuck in the Explodatorium. For those of you who play Shovel Knight, you know how much of a bitch this area is, so that's where I'm stuck at.
Boycotting the game.
That game is amazing. You're fucking missing out.
Boycotting it.
Why?
No, because that co-op thing that you talked about that you have to get the amiibo for and is in no other version. That makes no sense.
Well, shut up and deal with it, because there's more...
No, I'm boycotting.
No.
Well, then shut up and dance.
And honestly, the co-op mode is so fucking hard. All boyfriend and I do is get in each other's way. So it's terrible. But and that's actually my favorite series on the Game Grumps channel. If you guys watch Game Grumps, my favorite series is the Shovel Knight co-op, not the Shovel Knight original, because basically it's just Dan and Aaron getting in each other's way, and it's hilarious. And then what else? I am I am halfway through Storm of Swords for the Game of Thrones audiobooks. I'm almost to the Red Wedding, and I am powering through because right now I am just not feeling these books. It's easier to listen to than to read, but Jesus Christ, I can't stand to listen to Sam. He's so goddamn whiny. He cries all the time. I get it, you're cold. It's so annoying. I can't. So I'm powering through these books because I'm like, I really want to get through these books. They're really good. I really like the story, but some of these are really hard to listen to. Because I don't care about the ornate dresses. I get it. They're really cool, but we don't need to spend 6 minutes describing them. Like, it's just, there's issues to it. And I've had that issue with epic fantasy just in general. So, anyways.
But you gotta know.
I don't. Well, I mean, that red thread from the first book on the blue thing comes back to haunt me in book 3. So, I mean, like, fucking whatever. But, that's what I'm getting into, so that's me.
And I believe you're also training for a marathon.
I'm also training for a marathon. If you follow my Instagram feed, you probably saw on Thursday, I posted something. I am currently undergoing some physical therapy. I have had an injury. I only got like 2.5 miles in yesterday. No, it was actually 3.5 miles yesterday. My hip is completely giving me problems. I went into PT on Thursday. They said that I have to go see an actual doctor now, so tomorrow I am seeing a doctor. And I'm not going to stop training by any means. I'm still doing my longs as much as I can. Right now I can't actually, I'm not supposed to actually be out running. I'm supposed to be doing it like on an elliptical or something until we can figure out what's going on. I am still taking donations, but if they tell me I can't do it, I let everybody know, and I'll give you refunds if you want it. I'm really disappointed that this is happening.
Donations for charity. Reminder, people. She's running the marathon for charity.
I'm running this for charity, but I understand if you like want a refund. If I can't, if they tell me like, hey, your injury is pretty bad and you can't actually train anymore,
just make boyfriend run it.
Yeah, boyfriend will run the marathon for me. That'll work.
There you go.
He won't be mad at me or anything.
I didn't hear any loud bullshit or anything in the background right there. I was expecting to hear him be like, bullshit in the background. I got nothing.
No, he's asleep.
Oh,
so
okay.
The crotch comes in and just waggles no.
But
waggle crotch.
I'm fairly confident I will be back on track. I'm fairly confident within the week I'll be back on track. The pain is somewhat subsiding with the stretches that they've been having me do. Apparently, I just have very weak hips. So, but if you do want to donate to the charity I'm running for, you can check it out at bit.ly/Naki Marathon.
Yep, if you've been watching the video stream right now, it's been at the bottom of the screen since Naki's bit section for this bit. So bit.ly/Naki Marathon.
And I will keep everybody updated as much as I can. And also, thank you to everybody. I just hit my halfway point this morning. So, holy shit,
nice.
That's awesome.
That is fantastic.
I'm like $440 in. So, thank you all very much for supporting me and this charity. And Chicago Run is a great charity. I highly recommend checking them out. And especially if you like the baby kids. So, thank you.
The baby children's.
Does your boyfriend have any tips for me?
I
mean, he destroyed your hips, so he's got to be doing something right.
Well, so
I
while
was waiting to see the new Star Wars character Waggle Crotch. That's a Star Wars character name right there. Waggle Crotch.
They have dubbed you Waggle Crotch.
You're welcome.
You're welcome for that one,
Oh,
Naki. Have
hell
fun
yes.
with that. So I'll go next because my stuff's pretty quick. Steam sale, I was pretty good on, but I've been playing Tales of Symphonia that I bought off Steam sale on my PC because it's one of my favorite RPGs of all time. So I've been playing that on my PC. And then Thursday at work, my cell phone had a complete and utter meltdown, locked up, overheated, battery drained completely. I tried to give it a charge. It wouldn't take a charge. So my Galaxy S6 bricked. I got pissed off Thursday night, ordered a new phone direct from Amazon that was unlocked. It arrived on Saturday, so I've been playing with a new phone, and I'll probably have some thoughts on what it's like. You don't realize how much you use a cell phone, especially for things like dual-factor authentication and things like that, until you don't have it, and the problem I had with that for a day and a half. I'll probably chat about that on the Gonna Geek podcast on Tuesday, because we're recording on Tuesday this week. And that's pretty much it for the stuff I've been getting into. How about you, Anthony? What have you been getting into, sir?
Went on my camping trip. 5 days of no alarms was really, really nice. I slept a lot, ate a lot of bad food, and drank a lot of soda because I'm still not drinking. So it was weird to go on a camping trip without a cooler full of beer because I'd never done that before. So yeah, that was strange.
Welcome to the Sober Club.
We had fun. We found there was a hot springs pool type of thing a couple miles up from our campsite. So after 3 days there, we were actually able to go take showers and go swimming in a pool. So that was a nice way to clean off midway through in our on our little adventure. But yeah, it was a good trip. Came back and I had saved up 3 of the hot cash tokens from Hot Topic, buying way too many pops, which meant that if I spent $90 during their sale, I got $45 off. So I got basically the rest of the Suicide Squad pops. I got the big red-headed Gabian from Star Wars. I got 9s, so I have the traitor stormtrooper with his riot baton. And then I picked up my lovely Freddy Funko shirt for Naki.
Cool.
Only because on the shelf the shirts were buy one get one half off, and I saw this pretty thing, and so I don't have a long sleeve Spider-Man shirt, so I now have a funky Spider-Man shirt that's just covered with all the Spider-Man logos.
Naki, I think for Christmas I'm going to get you a big stuffed plushie Freddy.
Yay!
Yay! A golden Freddy?
I have Foxy sitting on my desk at work.
No.
Let's
I
give her
said
Mangle.
Freddy.
Nice.
But it's
Give her Mangle.
at work. See, I could just leave it there.
No, you
There
got to
you go.
keep this one at your house, or I'll feel offended. It has to watch you sleep.
Okay. If you get me a giant Freddy or whatever, golden Freddy, whatever, it'll sit back there. Okay?
But then
So
I
you'll
have
see
to
it.
look at
It's
it,
gonna
not
be too
you.
big to sit there. It's gonna be Naki sized.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ooh.
then
It's
it'll
going to be
just
all
take my
3'5".
And
Hey.
then
Full
I'm
Naki
four-
size.
I'm 5'4". Thank you very much.
She almost said 4'5". She doesn't even know how
I
short she
did.
is.
I'm sorry, Naki. That was a cheap shot by me. I won't do it again.
I'm small.
Other than that, I caught up on all of Preacher, and I finally finished watching all of season 6 of Game of Thrones. So I got to see the Battle of the Bastards. And the way they ended the season is so fucking spectacular for what's gonna start off next season. I am so stoked for fucking Game of Thrones. And yeah, some of the fights at the end of season 6 were just amazing. It's one of those ones where like the whole season leads up to the last 2 episodes, and then the last 2 episodes are just fucking balls to the wall. And then I finally started reading Butcher Baker Righteous Maker, so I'm halfway through that. And then for the comics I picked up last week before the trip, I read all of them, which pretty much all standard stuff except Saga number 6 came out, so I'm halfway through this, and Saga is still the best. It's the best sci-fi story being told out there. Brian K. Vaughan's version of his own Star Wars universe, basically, is
And Romeo
fucking
and Juliet.
fantastic. Way better than Romeo and Juliet. Shakespeare can't hold a candle to this shit.
See, the way I described it to people was Romeo and Juliet meets Star Wars, and that's
If they weren't stupid teenagers that died.
basically.
well, that you know of yet.
That's true.
Well, 6 volumes in, they've lasted longer than those 2 idiots.
Also true. So, Willie, what have you been getting into, sir? Because I know we got to get Naki out of here soon.
Well, for the 4th of July, I did go out to a minor league baseball game, the local one, the Greensboro Grasshoppers.
Nice.
And I'm sorry, Chris. They beat the West Virginia Power.
Oh, that's fine. That's not my team. My team's the Black Bears. They're a low A team that sits like 10 minutes from my house.
There you go.
West Virginia Power, like white power.
No.
I was thinking like Kenny Power, like from Eastbound and Down.
I believe it's a reference to coal and power generated from coal and things like that. I don't know much about the West Virginia Power.
They sound racist.
Yeah, let's just hop, skip, and jump away from this topic. But other than that, I'm still on Mad Max. I will platinum this game. And for you, those of you who don't know what platinuming a game is, it's pretty much getting all of the trophies, or as you would achievements, you get the platinum trophy. I am about 75% done with this game, and I just need to go through that last bit and then just get all the little small trophies from it. I will do this. This game will be beat. I haven't done that with the game for quite a while, and that's probably got another 2 weeks behind me to do it because there's so much work. So much work. Other than that, Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go, man. Everyone's doing that.
No.
Do it.
Oh, just cave and do it. You'll have fun.
Do
Chris, you need to start doing it before you tell other people to start doing it.
I got one Pokemon captured at a baseball game, and then I got distracted. I've done my part. I've done my part. All right, guys, so we do need to start wrapping things up because Naki does have to get out of here. We're only 5 minutes late, which is kind of a miracle for us. Don't forget, you can find the show over at atgnpodcast.com. There's all the social medias. We stream live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern over at geeks.live and channel 3 of the Alpha Geek radio site. The next show you can watch on geeks.live, the next live show you can watch on geeks.live will be the newest edition of the network, that is PopXcast, that will broadcast tonight, this being Sunday, July 10th at 9 o'clock p.m. So head on over to geeks.live and check out the PopXcast for yourself. It's a very good, very fun show, and the chat room's fun to hang out in. But you guys have any final thoughts as we get out of here?
Hashtag Dick Rave is still going strong.
Oh, I knew that was going to happen.
And also a new one. Hashtag Waggle Crotch.
Waggle Crotch.
I disapprove of this a great deal, but we do have to get out of here. Naki's got to run. We've got to run. So we're going to end on a decent on-time note. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Penis.
Butt Plug says bye.
Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek radio app, and over at our network home at GonnaGeek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@GonnaGeek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGNpodcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at Incompetech.com. And that wraps up episode 218 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Thank you so much to everyone that was in the chat room this week. I'm sorry we didn't get all the comments read because I get distracted sometimes. Sorry.
Oh, and I forgot to yell at SP. I ordered a goddamn geeky jersey because of him.
Well, I'm sure he'll be proud of that. I'm not sure if SP can easily chat because I believe he might still be driving back from vacation and is just listening to the show. But I could be wrong. If you were cussing at SP, he will hear you. Don't worry.
Curses.
It's a thing. Curses. Okay, I gotta go, guys.
All right, see you, Naki.
Later, Naki.
Boo, Team Mystic.
Tell us how you really feel, Willie.
Just in time to tell her before she goes.
Did tone it down enough for you guys?
There was only one mention of a dick rave. I was shocked.
Bachman, did you hear what the Vulture last week?
Yeah, I listened to the episode.
I'm sorry.
That's why I tweeted Chris about the Everett Aqua Socks.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about biscuits.
So everyone who's watching the live show right now, we are going to shut things down on the live show. I really do encourage you, if you have a chance tonight, geeks.live at 9 p.m., go check out the PopX cast. It is a lot of fun. But that's going to wrap us up for this week, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.